Today's movie is Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers. And after a single attempt to make Halloween an anthology series, the producers caved and decided to bring back Michael Myers even though he'd done blowed up in the second one. Halloween 4 takes place 10 years after the first two Halloween movies on October 30th, 1988. And Michael Myers has been in a coma ever since he got his eyes shot out and was completely immolated when Dr. Loomis blew up the operating room. An ambulance pulls up to the Ridgemont Sanitarium to transfer Michael Myers to Smith's Grove. Michael is held several levels beneath the sanitarium and is being overseen by Dr. Hoffman.
Check him out.
Gun! Gun!
Raj, meet your new partner.
I'm too old for this shit.
I'd assume Dr. Loomis would be here.
Wait, Dr. Loomis is alive too? Just how much are they pretending didn't happen at the end of part 2?
I'd like to see your driver's license and proof of insurance.
They load Michael into the ambulance and drive away, and now Michael Myers has not moved or responded to anything in 10 years, but you know that thing of how a dog will immediately go apeshit if you say, "Do you want to go outside?" Michael is the exact same way when you mention he has a female relative that he can murder.
A niece living in his hometown.
Michael suddenly wakes up and begins attacking the medics, and we get probably my favorite kill in the entire franchise, because Michael just jams his thumb into this dude's forehead. Like, I don't even know how that works. Like, this guy's final thoughts are probably just a panicked, "Holy f***ing shit, his thumb is touching my brain." We then cut to Michael's 7-year-old niece, Jamie Lloyd, who is the daughter of Laurie Strode, and we learn that Laurie and her husband both died a year before, so Jamie is sent to live with a foster family, Darlene and Richard Carruthers, and her foster sister Rachel, who can give Crew Jones a run for the title of oldest-looking teenager ever. Jamie can't sleep, and she sees the ambulance outside the window, which promptly disappears, and Jamie and Rachel have a touching heart-to-heart about loving each other even though they aren't real sisters. Rachel puts Jamie back to bed, and Michael Myers is in her room and he attacks. The dishwasher monkey lampshade, stuffed animal fairy princess, duck, hula hoop, ball.
Oh, dear God.
Oh, and we learn that Jamie was actually having a nightmare of a person that she's never met. And the nightmare also included the ambulance that he was last in, that she would have never known about. But since it was a dream, I guess that explains why Michael's mask looks so stupid. Doesn't help explain why the scene is so stupid. The next day is Halloween, and that night Jamie's foster parents are going out, and so they force Rachel to watch Jamie.
What am I supposed to tell Brady?
Sorry, but I've got to babysit my foster sister.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I ruined everything. I wasn't here. You can go out.
Again. Yeah.
That little girl needs all the love we can give her right now. All you can do is think about yourself.
Yeah. You're her parents and you're abandoning her on Halloween. Like, this whole family is just an Ouroboros snake of burdens and disappointments. So Dr. Loomis shows up at Ridgemont furious that they let Michael be transferred out of there. And exactly what kind of injury did Dr. Loomis suffer in the second movie? Looks like he has a gigantic nipple attached to his face.
Take a good look. I don't want anyone to have to live through that night again.
Well, I gotta say, your face looks weird, but it doesn't look nearly as bad as it should. I mean, you blew up.
Hear me the speech. I've listened to it for a decade.
And I don't get why Hoffman is dismissing Loomis as a kook. I mean, Michael Myers killed 16 people in one night. He's proven to be a dangerous person, and people get out of comas all the time. And just then, Dr. Hoffman gets a call that the ambulance transporting Michael crashed into the river. They arrive and they can't find Michael's body, but no one believes Loomis that Michael is still alive.
Even if by some miracle Michael is conscious, his muscles will be totally useless.
His thumb muscles were still pretty strong, though. And then Loomis decides to go to Haddonfield to try to stop Michael. Along the way, Michael kills the mechanic and takes his coveralls. And Michael always goes out of his way to find coveralls. But, like, what if he couldn't find any and just had to wear, like, Dockers and a polo shirt? He'd probably then have to go by Chad Audrey Myers. And just then, Loomis pulls up to the station to gas up his car. And Loomis discovers the body of the mechanic and the cashier, and comes face to face with Michael Myers after a decade. I've come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum, right? Have you seen that movie? The night nurse Steven always played movies in my room, and I must have subconsciously absorbed all of that awesome... What the heck, Loomis? I was just trying to talk to you, a-hole. Michael then steals a tow truck and gets away as the gas station blows up, and... Damn, Loomis! And at school, the other kids are really tearing Jamie a new asshole.
Your uncle's the boogeyman.
Boogeyman, boogeyman. Jenny's uncle's a boogeyman.
Okay, now kids, come on, let's lay off.
How come your mommy didn't make you a costume, Jamie? How could you? Her mommy's dead.
Whoa, that is something you reserve for when you really hate someone with all your being. And man, it seems like they rehearsed this. They have some very specific grievances with Jamie, and they're just getting it all off their chests. Like, your kids on Halloween, like, maybe just take it down a couple notches, you little psychos.
Jamie's an orphan. Jamie's an orphan.
Oh my god, you sick and I'm especially ashamed of this kid. Do you think Matt Tracker would have ever made fun of someone because their parents were dead? You are not fit to wear that uniform. Jamie runs away crying and gets picked up by Rachel and her friend Lindsay, who was supposed to have been revealed to be Lindsay Wallace from the original Halloween, but the production encountered some problems and, I quote, ran out of room in the budget. How much money does it cost to give a character a last name? There is so much I don't understand about the movie business. Jamie says that she wants to go trick-or-treating, and Lindsay suggests that they go to the drugstore to buy a costume. But Rachel doesn't want to go because Brady works there.
Well, I don't want to come on too strong. A guy hates a girl that comes on too strong.
Rachel finally gives in, and they go to Squints and Wendy Peppercorn's drugstore to look for a costume. So let's see, Michael killed his sister on Halloween in 1963, and The Sandlot took place the year before in 1962. And this is the same exact drugstore. So now you're probably saying, oh, well, Halloween takes place in Illinois and The Sandlot takes place in California, so they can't possibly be the same. But that's only if you choose to believe Smalls. Like, Smalls is basically the unreliable narrator. Like, we weren't there, we're just trusting him that he says he lived in California. He probably doesn't want anyone to know that he actually grew up in the same town as Michael Myers. Hell, they may have even lived in the same neighborhood. Brady and another guy are trying to dare their buddy Wade to ask out Sheriff Meeker's daughter Kelly. Also, the other guy was supposed to have been Tommy Doyle, but that would have cost the production $80 million.
Rachel, what are you doing here? I thought I was supposed to pick you up.
Jamie needs a Halloween costume.
Oh God, Rachel, abort! Abort! You're coming on way too strong. Good job not coming on too strong, Rachel. She tells Brady that she has to cancel their date because she has to babysit, and he gets upset. Excuse me, shopkeep. Do you have any of the, I believe they're called William Shatner masks available? What do you mean they've discontinued it? My last one burnt up. I need something. What do you have? Oh my god, this is it. This mask looks so stupid. Jamie picks out a clown costume, and as she's looking at herself in the mirror, she envisions a little boy holding a knife and wearing a bloody clown costume. And I'm guessing this is supposed to represent Michael, but what? Like, if Jamie has a psychic connection to her uncle, how do her visions work? Like, does her connection just kind of paraphrase events? Like, that's not even close to the costume Michael wore. Like, does she just know about the event and therefore has no idea exactly what kind of clown costume Michael was wearing? And this is just all her imagination? Or do her psychic powers just kind of get in the ballpark? Now, in real life, this mask looks different from the original mask because a Dick Warlock stole the mask used in the first one. Not sure what a Dick Warlock is because I don't play D&D. Rachel and Jamie leave to go trick-or-treating and Michael sneaks into their house. Our parents, they want the best of stuff for us. But right now, they got to do what's right for them, because it's their time. Their time, up there. Down here, it's our time. It's our time down here. Hello, Lori. I'm so glad my eyeballs grew back. Loomis makes it to Haddonfield and meets Sheriff Meeker, and Loomis warns him that Michael Myers is back in Haddonfield. And after almost no convincing, the sheriff issues an alert urging all citizens to get off the street. The news broadcasts the warning, and a bar full of drunks led by Earl the bartender take to the streets with their guns when they can't reach anyone at the police station. Rachel and Jamie go to Sheriff Meeker's house to trick-or-treat, and she sees that Brady is there with Kelly, who isn't wearing any pants, and is answering the door to give candy to children. And while Brady and Rachel are arguing in the streets, Jamie wanders off with a group of kids. Loomis and Meeker make their way to Jamie's house and find the front door wide open, and they know Michael was there because he didn't clean up after his snack. They leave Deputy Logan behind and continue the search around town. Michael then makes his way to a substation.
Hey, you. This city property. No trespassing.
Man looks in the abyss, there's nothing staring back at him. At that moment, man finds his character, and that is what keeps him out of the abyss.
What are you, deaf?
No, I'm not deaf. The confused expression is most likely due to this cheap William Shatner mask. Apparently, the actor was based on sued over likeness rights, and now I'm left with this cheap abomination. If I appear confused to you, it's most likely because of the eyebrows, I think. They make me appear either disconcerted or constipated. And you know what? I'm rambling. Oopsie daisy. This must come as a real shock to you. The power then goes out all over Haddonfield, and Rachel is still searching for Jamie, but Jamie is just hopelessly lost. Rachel finally finds Jamie right as Meeker and Loomis show up and take them back to the station, but just then, multiple Michael Myers show up. Do not go gentle into that good night. Old age should burn and shining sulkily because she thought the sun got out there with the wise men at their end know dark is right.
Don't shoot! You thought it was me, didn't you? Sheriff!
Oh my god, that was classic. We almost just got killed. Hey, Scott, that was great. That scared old man almost shot my dick off because he thought I was Michael Myers. Hey, Todd, this dumb girl thought I was her uncle coming to murder her. Oh, good one, Trent. Oh my god, this is the best night of my life. They make it back to the police station and find the bodies of all the cops. You know, I bet this would have been a cool scene to see. I imagine Michael would have just been quoting Commando or some shit the whole time. And just then, the drunk posse shows up and Loomis tells them that Michael Myers is loose. And then the posse goes out hunting. Deputy Logan leaves Jamie's house to go back to the station, but somehow has no idea that this giant hell beast is hiding in the back seat. The mob is driving around when they think they see Michael, and in a reenactment of the scene from Predator, they just unload all of their ammunition onto a gazebo.
Shit, Earl. It's Ted Hollister.
Oh, this is why you don't let drunk rednecks form a vigilante posse. I knew there was a reason. Also, what was Ted Hollister doing at 9 at night creeping around the bushes by a gazebo? I mean, come on, we know what Ted was doing. Brady and Kelly start to have sex when Sheriff Meeker and Loomis arrive, and they begin to fortify the house, and Meeker deputizes Brady. So Deputy Logan takes a position by the front door, and Brady sets up in the attic. So the house is completely locked down, which would be awesome, except that Michael is already inside. None of you seem to understand. I'm not locked in here with you. You're locked in. Oh! Meeker gets a hold of the police in a nearby town and asks them to send troopers to help out. And Loomis leaves to go back to Jamie's house because he thinks that's where Michael will go.
Your other's house. That's where Jamie lives. That's where he'll go.
You know, Loomis is the #1 authority on Michael Myers, and he just has no idea what's going on in Michael's head, ever. Meeker hears over the radio that the drunks accidentally murdered some random dude, so he leaves to go stop them. Kelly and Rachel have it out in the kitchen, and Kelly makes coffee for everyone, and when she brings some to Deputy Logan, she notices that his arm is sticking out of his neck? What the hell am I looking at here? Surprise, surprise, Kelly. You want to play rough? Okay, say hello to my little friend. Why is this not firing? Full disclosure, I've never actually shot a gun before. What are you staring at? Please stop looking at my mask. I know I look hideous. Are you disgusted because the eye holes are ridiculously small? Because trust me when I tell you, Kelly, it affects me more than it does you. Rachel gets a call on the radio that the support team is 35 minutes away, and she runs upstairs to let Deputy Logan know, and she finds his mangled body. Again, I can't quite tell what Michael did to him. Would have been nice to see it happen is all. She runs upstairs to get Jamie, but finds her missing, and she runs into Brady, and they realize that the fortifications are so good that they're now locked in the house. You gotta ask yourself one question, Brady. Do I feel lucky? Well, do ya, punk? Come with us! I'm sorry, did you just say something about my mask? It sounded like you were making fun of my mask. Is it the slick back hairstyle that makes me look vaguely Italian? I can't help it, it's like horsehair or something. I can't change the hairstyle. Believe me, I've been trying all day. You want a war, Rachel? Jamie! I'll give you a war you wouldn't believe. Okay, that one was very close to my head. Rachel and Jamie climb out onto the roof, and Michael very carefully comes after them because he does not have good shoes for roofing. Are you freaking out because of my shoulder pads? I was hoping no one would notice. I've been bedridden for a decade. I have no definition anymore. These coveralls were hanging off of me, so I had to put on hockey pads. This is all very impromptu. I was dead to the world and someone mentioned my niece, and suddenly I'm awake with a bloodlust that can never be quenched. Rachel falls off the roof and is knocked unconscious, and Michael takes off after Jamie down the street. When Jamie runs into Dr. Loomis, and I'm not sure she's any safer with him. And Loomis takes her to the school where hopefully Michael won't find them. Jamie, the first chance you get, you should run from Loomis. He does not make good decisions. I can already tell the blonde hair is not more menacing. I'll change back. Michael is about to attack Jamie when Rachel sprays him with a fire extinguisher and they manage to get away. They run into the good old boys outside, and they all decide to leave and let the state troopers handle it. And they pass the state cops who tell them there's a roadblock about 4 miles down the road and they'll be safe there. Meanwhile, Michael has been clinging to the back of the truck this whole time because this is not a horror movie. This is an 80s action classic. Excuse me, I'd like to see your driver's license and proof of insurance. Oh, dear God, my watch got snagged on your neck. So he rips off Earl's face, and Rachel drives the truck with Michael clinging to the roof like he's any cop from any movie from 1980 to 1992. But as powerful as Michael is, he's no match for the laws of physics, and he gets thrown from the truck. Whew. Good thing I was wearing hockey pads underneath my coveralls. Huh? Who looks stupid now? Oh dear. Oh, I'm getting too old for this. Jamie holds Michael's hand, and when Michael tries to kill her, they open fire on him, and he gets consumed by the earth.
I'm okay. Again, the hockey tags paid off. Okay, that one crushed my testicles. I am less okay now.
So the police take Rachel and Jamie back home, and has anyone told Sheriff Meeker that his daughter is dead? He's not acting like this is information that he has. And Jamie's mother draws her a bath, and we get a point of view shot that we're supposed to believe is Michael, but then we come to find out that Jamie has just murdered her foster mother. And in a fit of rage and despair, Loomis is fully prepared to open fire on Jamie. But in all honesty, he was bound to shoot her by accident eventually anyways, so that was Halloween 4, the much anticipated return of Michael Myers. It was alright. And be sure to check out my breakdowns of the rest of the Halloween series for even more Michael Myers tomfoolery and goings-on.